People with integrity acknowledge that they have drama, and those who lack integrity deny that they have drama. That sounds like a really harsh way of beginning, but I've seen this word drama culturally being used over time here in a pejorative sense, whereby, here, I had to actually go to Urban Dictionary to see what the definition of drama is and how it's being used. So simply, the word drama in Urban Dictionary is defined as a way of relating to the world in which a person consistently overreacts to or greatly exaggerates the importance of benign events. And I've seen this word used in many different contexts. For example, on dating apps, it's often used in a sense where the individuals say, I don't want any drama, or I don't want anyone who has drama. I've heard it said even in general, friendship settings or relational settings where they use the same thing, saying that person has too much drama, so that's way too much for me. And I want to argue the point that I believe we all have drama. It's just that we're using this word subjectively in an unkind, in an unfair way. And I'm going to see if I can unfold that a little bit for you. But that's why I say I don't think it is possible to live with integrity and deny that you have drama. I think we all have drama. It's just, how are we applying this word? There's a comparison that happens when we use this word. And I think the application is okay. The application of the word is okay, especially when one is saying, I don't want to sign up for experiencing life with someone who perhaps uses it in the way that this is being defined. But I think there is something that happens that is unkind and unfair when we start placing this tier system of comparison with each other, instead of just acknowledging, hey, their amount of drama or challenges that we all experience in life is more than I can handle. And I'm still going to legitimize that they're going to work through it and seek what they need to work with, that it's just going to be without me. But I think it's unfair that we use a word specifically that has the same reference to what we're experiencing as well. Again, it's all subjective. I would say drama, or this way of relating to the world in which they over-exaggerate or overreact. I mean, that is a subjective assessment. They're trying the best that they can, I'm sure, as we're doing the best that we can. When we start saying that we deal with our problems better than they do, that's almost like stepping into someone else's experience in a way that seems unfair. You are not able to comprehensively know all of their experiences in life to be able to place a judgment on how they're responding. They're doing what they can. Let them figure out what that is, legitimize and acknowledge what that space is, even if you're not going to be in that space. But for goodness sake, don't use this word drama as that's their thing, that's their drama. I don't have drama. We all have drama. We all have challenges. The real point is, what kind of resources did we experience along the way? What kind of helps came along the way that enabled us to figure ours out and enable us also to draw those boundaries that says here's where I don't have enough energy for or capacity to move forward. But let's level the playing field here. Let's own this word together and let's destigmatize it, because the way it's being used is really harsh. It's really unfair. It's really unkind. And so I want to just see if I can break that up a little bit more here. Again, I'm saying that people with integrity, and that's what our channel here is focused on, is how do we live with integrity? How do we be consistent with our own internal value system? How do we live with integrity and deny that we have drama? The very starting point for us in walking towards integrity is an honest assessment of who we are internally and what our values are going to be. Now, I think it goes without saying that there is no one who's perfect in this world. It's not possible for humans to be perfect. That's not what we were made to be. We were not made to be perfect. We all come with our whole bag of challenges that we have to work through and grow through. All of us are equal on this playing field. All of us have this similar access. But this walk to integrity, that is, begins with us first and foremost saying, here's me understanding who I am and what I'm about. It is not possible to experience integrity if we're being blind to our own challenges that we're working through. Yes, integrity means to be whole within oneself and living one's values, but that also comes with an honest and sober self-reflection of what one's values are in the first place, based on how they came to those values, and not only their values, but also their challenges as well. Part of integrity entails that we own those areas in our lives that are messy. I like using the word messy for humans because I feel we're all messy. In fact, one of my maxims is to be human is to be messy. Another way of saying that is to be human is to come with drama. Each and every one of us needs to start at that point of owning where our messiness is. For some of us, it might be that we struggle with anger. And once upon a time, you might find this hard to believe, I had an anger problem when I was far younger. In my pre-teens, early teens, I struggled with anger and I was a really violent individual at that time. I've struggled with dishonesty and that has reaped such awful consequences in my life. I've hurt so many people because of my dishonesty, including the way I cheated on my partner, my spouse, my wife. And that was part of my story. I was codependent for many years. And I was trying the best I could, but I contributed to my own messiness. Part of my realignment internally to become whole was for me to see a healthy and honest assessment of where my messiness lay. I come with drama. I come with my past drama that I have worked through and I've grown through, and I'm a better person for it now, but I still don't negate that it happened in the past. I still know that that's part of my story. I wish it weren't. I wish I'd chosen something else, but I didn't. That's my story that I have to be honest with. There are some who believe in what they call revisionist history. And this is where they can make up a new version of what happened in the past that doesn't really align with what truly happened. I don't believe in that form of storytelling. I want to stick to the truth. My past is messy. My present, some would argue, is also messy when you hear some of the things I'm personally going through right now. And, you know, those who know me best, those who I confide in can say, wow, Benyam, you're going through quite a bit here, and they can help me process. But there may come a point when they're like, Benyam, your messiness, your expression of drama right now is more than I have the capacity to help you with. So I'm just going to take a reprieve and I'm going to ask you to look for some support in a different way, from a different place, from someone else than I, because I don't have the bandwidth to be able to help you through your messiness. That is an appropriate way of acknowledging someone else's messiness and knowing where that line is drawn and still legitimizing it, even if you're not going to be a part of it. Does that make sense? And by the way, if you're finding that this is really helpful, if you're appreciating the engagement that I'm presenting to you intellectually with these thoughts, I would love for you to click subscribe and be a part of this movement that we are on in inspiring what it looks like to live with integrity. I want to gather and collate people who are speaking the same language and committed to the same values and rowing in the same direction. So if you're enjoying this, please press subscribe. But as people do this comparing and contrasting, that's not the bad part I'm arguing. The unkind part comes when we use a specific label that is pejoratively infused to be able to judge someone else. And that's what I'm arguing is what is really happening when we use the word drama for some people's problems, but not for us. No, we're so equal across the board in our expression of humanity that we're all messy. We're all trying to figure our way forward. And it is not right for us to use a special category that says, oh, that person has this, I'm going to treat them a little more different. I'm going to treat them as unusually untouchable maybe, or less than. That's when I just say that does not ring well. History proves the consequences of such a progression in a way that we should not be facilitating going down that pathway. And so along those lines, what does it look like for us to start being honest in the way we progress in our comparison of challenges that we go through, messinesses that we all experience? I just mentioned a contrast there. I've got plenty of drama in my past, so much that I have already shared with you in previous videos. By the way, go and check the video that I started off with a few days ago that said, please don't subscribe if, and there I proceeded to share my drama that I've already worked through that does not have any expression in my life now, because I've learned the lessons from that drama to know that this is not a space that I'm in anymore. So I'm open to sharing my past drama and the lessons I've learned and where I'm at now presently as a result of it, because that is what it means to be human. It's to grow through these challenges in life, to become better versions of ourselves. That's why I'm committing this whole channel to saying, what does it look like for us to pursue integrity, to seek after it, to strive after it? That's what we're rowing towards together. But that entails that change is afoot. We don't come pre-coded with integrity. We must work hard at imbibing integrity. Isn't it interesting that from the moments that we were born as babies, we didn't have to work at being bad? Do you know what I'm saying? A baby doesn't get born with an inherent set of values where, I don't know, if you see a couple of babies in the same playing room, you don't see the one baby saying to the other, after you, kind of thing. Babies by nature just kind of do what they want, and they express human selfishness that is in all of us, where they say, I see what I want, I'm going to take it even if it's being unfair to you, even if you had at first, or even if there are other social parameters that we should be attending to. From the moment we were born sort of expressing that selfishness, that element of not playing well with others. And we had to be taught over time, here is a value system to sign up for. Here's why we exercise honesty. Here's why we pursue justice. Here's why we try to be kind individuals. Here's why we learn boundaries. All these things had to be learned and incorporated along the way. And every one of us, even you, my dear listener, we all went through the sequence where we had to come into calibration with, what does it mean for me to operate from a set of values? One of the videos I made a few days ago was along the lines that integrity does not make sense unless we are in community. In fact, integrity is useless if we're the only person in the world, because then we can do whatever we want. But integrity only comes into play when we find ourselves in community, because it's when we start using language of you should or you shouldn't, I do or I don't, for the following reasons. We're trying to make sense of our world. We're trying to say which is a better option and which is a less favorable option, and why. That's where integrity comes in. It's infused with moral insinuations. And so integrity demands that we challenge ourselves when we start using a specific set of language for some people, instead of finding our commonness across the way. And I argue that's what we're doing when we're using the word drama. It is not kind for us to go down this path and start saying, yeah, that person's messiness is unusually different from mine, and I'm gonna castigate them for it. I'm gonna say, I don't want anything to do with you. It's an appropriate thing to say, I can't walk with you, but while doing so, the tactful way is to also acknowledge the humanity, saying, I want to wish you well while you're figuring out. You're just like me, trying to sort out this confusing life that we live. But I still want to give you that courtesy of your humanity, that we are still striving in a similar pathway of trying to figure out our own messiness and how do we become better. So what do you think? Do you think I'm off base when I say that is it a fair thing for me to say that it is a lack of integrity for us not to own our own drama? Do you agree that we're just using this word subjectively, and that all of us have drama? All of us have stuff we're working through, not only from our past that we've worked through and learned the lessons from, but even in our presence, that we're still continuing to try and figure stuff out? No one's coming to the plate here as a finished product. To the day that we die, we continue to strive. We continue to try and figure out, how do we get better? How do we continue to experience what could be? How do we get to be better versions of ourselves? Tell me, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree? One of my big aims, one of my big commitments in life is identifying where injustice is happening and then seeking to contribute towards recalibrating it towards a more fair way of seeing. And this, like, to do this, I rely on reasoning. I rely on logic. I rely on saying, here's where things are inconsistent, and bringing attention to that so that we can align and say, how do we level the playing field on this one here? That's so important for me. And that's what I see when I see us using, for example, this word drama. This word drama that is used only for some, but not to ourselves, especially when we're describing the same thing. I'm calling foul play on that one. I'm calling something inconsistent in the way we're applying the language and the experiences to which we're describing, especially in realm of how we're using it against some and for others. That doesn't seem right to me. So, one of the things I love doing in this season of life, and I'm so glad that I came across this perspective because for me, it has really changed the landscape, is I celebrate my messiness. Let me tell you what I mean. I celebrate the fact that I am a human being who's trying the best I can to figure out how to navigate in this world with integrity. I acknowledge at the outset that I don't have it together. I acknowledge that there are so many things that I do along the way at times that some people would scratch their heads saying, why? Like, that doesn't make sense and you're doing it wrong or whatever. I celebrate that this is my core part of my nature. For me, that's what integrity means. It's the start of this place that says, I am a messy human being. I'm not pursuing perfection. I am in essence trying to become better though through the experiences I'm learning my way through. Love celebrating this because now it frees me from a disposition I once held where I was pursuing perfection. And I know some of you may be struggling with it. Some of you may struggle with trying to be perfect and trying to present perfection. Let me tell you, that's a cruel taskmaster. That's something that I would encourage you to put aside because that is not who you were made to be. Each and every one of us by nature, and I can say this definitively because I think I can share this similar experience with every other human being. None of us has the experience of being perfect and having it all sorted. None of us has access to the comprehensive repository of knowledge that is in the world. None of us has been around forever to know the right way from the wrong way. We're trying to figure it out the best we can. But here's where we're at in this moment in time, in that progress forward. Some of us are a little further ahead than others. Some of us have far more experiences under our belts that enable us to have wisdom and insight and knowledge than others might. But at the very core, we're all equal in our messiness. It's time for us to stop beating ourselves up over how we're trying to be better versions of ourselves. It's time to stop beating ourselves over the fact that we aren't perfect. That's okay to acknowledge. I say a better progression is to start celebrating your messiness and your drama. When you mess up in the course of a day, take a moment of gratitude. Say, oh yeah, that's a reminder. I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm a human and that's okay. You lashed out at someone. Just take a moment. Say, okay, that wasn't reflective of what I want to be. I'm going to acknowledge one, the gratitude that I'm a work in progress, and two, the opportunity to make things right. You made a mistake at work, or you said something, you did something, you believed something, you acted something that didn't align with what you're trying to be. Don't beat yourself up on it. Say, okay, I'm reminding myself that this is a progression over time, and I'm not going to make it this side of death to perfection. So what does it look like for me to own this? And not beat myself up, but to work through it, to acknowledge it. To say, yeah, it's okay that I'm messy and that I have drama. This is an okay thing for us to acknowledge moving forward. And so I would challenge the way that we have been collectively using this word drama and say, can we rectify this? Can we legitimize? Can we destigmatize this word drama? In the way that we've been using it, saying that's for those people who I don't relate to. It's fine that you don't relate to them, but still give them the courtesy. Give them the courtesy to figure out their own stuff and level the playing field by seeing yourself in them, as you also are trying to figure out how best to exist in your, at essence, at the core, your humanity, your messiness. And how can you start celebrating your own messiness and your drama? I love this perspective because it has given me freedom now to be kind to myself, to go easy on myself, to be able to say I wasn't made to get this right off the bat. So I'm going to give myself grace and time to work into while I continue to address the things that I want to change and see experience difference. And while I'm doing so, I'm also going to remember that I'm a member of community. And so integrity means that I'm also going to be aware that my actions are going to have influences and consequences on those around me. And part of that means that I'm also going to be fair in granting someone else their wholeness and encourage them to pursue what that looks like by saying, you figure out you, I'm going to figure out me. We'll see at what points we can intersect and help each other out. We'll see at what points we have to draw the lines and say, I'm sorry, I can't be a part of this one here, but I wish you well while you figure that out for yourself. This is what I believe integrity necessitates from us, that we own that we have drama. And in the absence of doing so, I believe we are discrediting our pursuits and our experience of integrity. That is not wholeness. Wholeness begins with acknowledging, first of all, not only our value system that we want to align with, but also where we're presently at, our messiness, our drama. Why don't we extend that same courtesy to those around us as well? Listen, friends, I would love to continue engaging with you, interacting with you on this theme of integrity, on this walk of experiencing it collectively and together and bringing more of it into our daily experience. I would love to see that for you. There's a beautiful element of freedom that one experiences as they walk into this. I would love for you to experience this in a really powerful way. Part of that looks like you joining this community here on my channel, where we can continue to talk about it, where we continue to keep that conversation going, where we can encourage and inspire each other towards that. If you are listening to this video or other ones and you're sparked by even more curiosity or interest in knowing what that experience of integrity or the increasing amount of integrity in your life looks like, I would love to hear from you. I have a special email where we could connect. It's called personalintegrityreset@gmail.com. personalintegrityreset@gmail.com. So drop me a line there. One of my goals is to facilitate conversations with you, my followers, whereby we explore what integrity looks like in our lives and the pursuit of it, our experiences with it, and we get to know each other. I would love to present those kind of videos to our audience, because I find the more we are making this interactive, the more it continues to gain momentum and enable others who are desperate for experiencing integrity in their lives to be able to come across this content and also to be encouraged and inspired towards it. I would like to see this ball rolling, and I can't do it without you. So if you're enjoying what you've been watching, if you're enjoying the engagement here, I would love if you subscribed, if you followed along this channel. I would love for your interactivity by you leaving your thoughts and comments in the comment section below, your questions, your challenges. Let me know if you thought I was off base on this one here. As you can tell by the energy I'm bringing to this video, I kind of feel strongly about this. There's things that I feel strongly about that the passion sort of seeps through. I'm like, oh, this one needs to be attended to. Usually by nature, I'm fairly easygoing and gentle, but there's themes that come along the way that I'm like, this one here, I need to let you know where I draw the line, kind of thing. But I mean, it's just one man's perspective here. I'd love to hear yours. So drop a line in the comments as well. In the meantime, I hope today is infused with opportunities for you, one, to be able to acknowledge your humanity, your messiness, and second, to celebrate what that looks like, even as you watch this element of integrity growing internally within you. I hope that our engagement and interaction continues to spur this constant reflection through the course of your day, because let me tell you, integrity doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to develop and grow into. And I want that for you. I want you to experience that, not because it makes you look good socially, but because it matters to you internally, that you are whole, that you're operating and existing with values that really resonate with your hell yes. Thanks for joining in for today's video. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Again, please stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping some shorts through the course of the day. That's the plan. Yesterday, I was hoping to do that, but my day ran away on me. And so I'll try to catch up today with a couple of days worth of shorts. I'm usually trying to do at least about 10 a day-ish. That's my goal. Again, just sharing with you that there's so much to explore. I had a friend one time recently say, how much can you talk about this word integrity? Like, can't you just define it in a couple of experiences and you're done? Actually, after living like quite a few years now in this space of integrity, there is so much to talk about and share. And I look forward to bringing that onto your radar, especially through the content I create. If you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them because I want this to serve you guys well too. Anyway, have a fantastic day. Go and live with integrity. Talk to you soon.